My name is Imtana Shukri, and this video is about the state of this expert advisor called SyncExpert. Now, what SyncExpert is supposed to do is it's supposed to basically sync all the relevant information for a specific account and then sync all that information to the database. So it'll be logging things in the following tables. It'll be logging things in Forex order, Forex deal, Forex position over here, and then it'll also be taking in account information, and I'll show you in a bit just what those things are going to be. But the issue is that this SyncExpert had a lot of technical difficulties with the migration to the entity framework in the database. A lot of relations were failing, the logic behind them, or the foreign keys were just messing something up. And so this video is going to get you acquainted with what the SyncExpert's goal should be, functionality-wise, and what exactly you're going to have to do to get it to that position. Now, first I'm going to go through and explain everything about this, and you'll see some of the stuff's commented out because that's stuff that I couldn't get to work, or it doesn't have relevant things in the database yet, but I'll explain all that as well. So pretty much, first of all, you're going to need the UTC time function I wrote and the token handling function I wrote. And these two, this trade deal is part of meta editor by default, and this should be also included in the repository. But all of this will be included in the old repository, and these two are functions I wrote. This one is for making authorized calls to the web API, and then this one is for handling the time, making everything consistent in UTC time. So let's go ahead and begin. First off, we're going to be initializing these variables up here. Orders, positions, deals, history orders, started, and date time, initialization time. And the purpose of these is to keep track of the number of active orders and allow us to check if this number has changed at all. And I'll go more into that when we talk about the onTrade function within this expert advisor. But pretty much, so orders is the number of active orders, or historical orders and things like that. Token handling is just initializing this so we can use it. And so let's go on. So on initialization, it's going to get the initialization time as time current, so the current time of the server. And this initialization time is going to be put here in Simple Trade Processor, and I'll keep going with that later. But these, it's going to log the order history, log deal history, log position history, and then it's going to initialize the counters, and then that is going to be what the initialization does. And initializing counters is getting initializing these variables up here and counting pretty much everything that has to do with it, with this relevant information, so we can keep track. And I just want to say, I am going to be documenting things besides this video. I'm going to have a list of issues that come up, pictures of errors that we've gotten that we weren't able to fix, possible solutions to these problems that we didn't get a chance to implement, or that Matteo couldn't find. Big shout out to Matteo Vergara. He's the one who I have been talking with nonstop to try and fix this. He's in charge of the database. Anyways, sorry for the rant. Let's keep going. So this, for instance, is log account history. This does not have we were so concerned with the orders and deals and stuff, we didn't actually get a chance to continue to check if this worked. But anyways, first of all, so log order history, log deal history, log position history. That over here is what we are going to be doing the main work in. And so you have I'm going to explain this, and then this looks pretty much the same for each of those classes. And hopefully this video won't be too long, but it kind of needs to be to understand everything that's going on. But so the UTC class, this will let us use the time functions, token, same thing, Boolean for order logged, so I can check down here if it's true. We all the way at the end, I can just be like, hey, if this is true, all the orders are logged. If not, it won't send that message out. And that's going to need a little work, I realize right now, but I'll be sure to take care of that before the end. But anyways, so string retrieve token is the token. You should watch the video on authorized calls before you watch this one. That's a pretty short one. But you check if the token's expired. If it is, you generate it, you retrieve the token, you use that later. So this is how you make web requests. In MQ05, you use this library over here, and then you can add things to this JSON object, and it'll make it for you pretty much. But the way that the database works is, alright, I'll go into that later as well. But so this is how we're going to get the orders. So first of all, you have history select. History select gets all the orders from history, or pretty much everything from history, from the start time that you give it to time current. And when we're initializing, we pass in a 0, so it gets everything from the beginning and all the way to right now. That's one thing on the wish list. We're going to need to log the last time that we checked. If there's a time that we checked, put that in instead of the 0, because we don't want to keep going over the same orders over and over again. We can log, hey, last time we checked was July 29th at let's say like 1 p.m. And then we'll put that here, and then it'll take that and start from there. So then once you select all these things, you go for int I, the number of history orders total, which tells you how many orders there are in history. You go in, and then this is a new thing that we implemented right before making this video. You need to make a call to this API, get Forex login ID, so you can actually get the login ID from the database that is associated with this account login number and this server. And as you can see here, this is how you get all this information. So once you do that, you can get it, and then that's what you're going to be passing in over here. And then all this over here is just getting the information that you need. I've made a list over here. It's from this website. It's all the documentation of the things that you need. So you can see here account properties, deal properties, things like that. And these are the identifiers you use with what function. And you'll see now, so order state, order time, setup, order ticket, things like that. All of that is here. Now some of them I couldn't get to work, but you're going to want to try to get all of them to go in and be logged successfully. So then once you put all the information you need, you serialize the JSON and you go to log order. And you need to make sure that you have the authorized call on this one and up here in the same one. And then that's pretty much how it works. So the state of it right now is that you can log orders, but you can't, and you can log deals, but you cannot update deals, and you can't log positions. And I'm going to show you the errors that you get. So this shouldn't run like this, the success for get Forex login ID. This is just debugging things to see that it's all working. And you can see that the orders are being logged. It's going through all the orders over here in this history. And then it's going to do the same for deals. And you can see, okay, so yeah, now you see here, this is when I try to update the deals. This is what happens, and that's because I have already all these deals here. This is the deal table, and you can see it successfully logs them. But then once we try to update these values, something goes wrong. but the order table is fine, and the order is able to be updated and things like that. So I'm going to keep going and maybe make this video generally about the functionality and what you might need to fix. This is to log open orders because this function is to log historical orders, and this is for deals and it works, you just can't update it like I said. And then this is for positions, which gets a little complicated to retrieve this information, but it should be alright. And then here, so here's the init counters, it will get all these numbers. And so onTrade, what onTrade does is it calls, onTrade catches whenever there's a transaction. And so whenever there's a transaction, it'll call this, select all these things, and then it'll check against our numbers that we had before, check if they're different. So the current number of orders, current number of positions, it'll take these numbers here, then check against those values we initialized at the top. If they're different, then it's going to start logging the orders again. Log deal history, log position history. They're commented out because it doesn't work. Well, it would work if we put them here, but it does not work currently at the moment. And that's about it. There will be more documentation about this function, of course, what you have to do to get it working, but that was a demonstration here. So what I can do, I can go ahead and delete all these things in the deal table, go ahead and stop this from running. How much time have I got left? This turned into a longer video. Maybe I will edit it, or I will probably make a second video. And so let's continue here. It's going to give me the error again. No. Okay, nice. So if we run it, now this time you're going to see that it does log the orders and it does log the deals as well. But it won't log the positions because something is going on with the way that positions are logged. You'll run over the same position multiple times because it is related to the same deals possibly. So you find, since you're going through the deals to get the positions for each deal, you're going to have to run into the same position twice. And since the update function is broken for deals and positions, you only log 2 or 3 deals before. See, this is the position. This is adding the position. So you'll only log a couple positions before it actually catches the update errors. And there are some other things. There's some information in the database that we didn't get a chance to curate, I suppose is the word. Because, so for instance, orders don't have commission, and things like that. Some of these need to be removed, and I'll try to document some of those as well, because me and Mateo were so busy trying to get it to work, we didn't do everything that we wanted to. So this was sort of a rundown on how it worked, a wish list video, the state of this function. Sadly, we couldn't get it functioning properly the whole way, but as you can see, we have some functionality here in the end. And honestly, the SyncExpert code is almost complete. You're gonna have to change some of these. This is probably the biggest work right here. You're gonna have to change these names to match the database once that stuff is fixed, and then maybe remove some of these or change some variables, things like that. But the code is pretty much almost complete. It's a lot of database errors, and you're going to have to update the database, run this code again, find an error, update that error, run it again, find a new error. It's a very time-consuming process, so make sure that you stay in touch with the person who's in charge of the database. And I almost took up 15 minutes, so I'm going to stop now. So thank you for watching.